April is almost over and we're going to be merging into March. So we got a lot to talk about today. And I'm going to bring up my co-host Dale Frey.
Hey, how you
Hi.
doing?
Hey Dale, how you doing tonight?
Doing all right, doing all right. Yeah, it is April 22nd. We're about to finish off this month. Every day that gets closer and closer to the next general election is something I just can't wait for. As a reminder to everyone, though, we do have municipal elections going on. I think is that right now, or at least if not right now, next week. In Texas, the municipal races are for school board, for city council, and for mayor. So uh, I actually won't have the ability to vote in the municipals because where I live in the city of the colony, they actually did something right. They batched their municipal elections into their general election. I think we're the only city in the county that does that. But
Oh wow.
yeah, yeah, it's actually kind of a good thing because I tell you, like everywhere else, it feels like there's constant elections going on all the time. You have your primary elections, your municipal elections, your runoff elections, your general elections, right? So it can all feel like a bit much. But yeah, if I'm not sure which city do you live in again, Stephanie?
I'm in the Justin area, and well, between Denton County and Fort Worth, well, Tarrant County, and it's like right now we have election going on as well. Next month we got a bunch of runoffs that's going to be happening over on this side, so it'll be very interesting. I plan on going to go do my early voting this weekend, so I'll probably heading out Sunday to go ahead and get it over with. I'm telling y'all, if you have not went out to go vote early. Cause out here, especially if you're in the Denton County area, you can vote countywide instead of waiting until the day of. Just go ahead, vote early, get it over with. It doesn't take that long. And most of the time, especially when it's the April in May election, is not a whole lot of people there, but we're definitely counting on you to come out, come vote, especially for the mayors of the municipal election that's happening right now, and the school ISDs that are electing a new school board members. So please go out, go vote.
Absolutely, and to also to reiterate this too. I know I've said this before a ton of times, and I'll say it again. And it might sound like a broken record, but to add on to Stephanie, what Stephanie was saying about early voting, we have county-wide voting during the early voting period in Denton County, but not on the last day to vote, the election day. So that's very confusing to a lot of people, and we're seeing I think about 11% of people are getting redirected due to this. So straight up voter suppression. Guys, just vote early. It's so much easier. We're seeing the total number of people who vote during the early voting period. The total number of people are almost equivalent or equal to that of the number of people who vote on the last day to vote on election day. So
Mhm.
you're more apt to see a line on election day. It's just way easier to vote early. Just please vote early. Make it easier on yourself. It'll be real quick. You can do it and get it done. Another reminder too: in municipal elections, there is no D or an R next to the candidates' names, so you may need to do a little bit of research first and try to familiarize yourself with your candidates. Not every candidate also necessarily chooses to associate with a party. Sometimes candidates can sometimes feel like the party affiliation can hurt them more than help them. Depends on the candidate, but um, you can go to votedenton.gov. That's votedenton.gov, and you can look up your sample ballot there.
All right. So don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you go vote early. Save yourself some time. Vote early. Save yourself some heartache. Vote early. Vote, vote, vote. Early, early, early. Whew, that was a lot to say. Dale, how's your week going so far?
Uh, it's going. It's going. It's again. I'm really just waiting for these next couple of months. I Well, I mean, obviously there's the runoff election, but really I'm just waiting for November. November cannot come soon enough. Every day is even more chaos. I never thought I'd
Yes.
see the day where Donald Trump actually like shit talked about Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson. It was mind blowing to see the insane level of infighting that is going on there. Uh, the world's a crazy place, and the general election cannot come soon enough. We really need to get there. But
I know,
yep,
but you know what? What was it? Virginia, they did really well. They have elected another congressperson over in Virginia. So that's a good thing. So the Democrat Party is actually winning in some areas, so that's a good thing. It's like I'm gonna say it like this: it is time for change, and I believe that the people are now tired of change, and they need some adults running these states and in these positions and stuff because it's just too much is out of control. We have high prices of gas, the high prices of food, everything is going up except for the wages. And that's where a lot of people are really upset. So you have Trump saying that, oh, the gas price is really not high, but you have the average worker that's saying, yeah, it is. You know, when you have to sit up there and decide whether you're going to go buy a bunch of grocery or better yet go get your medicine or put gas in your tank, it costs almost what some average vehicles economy vehicles, it costs about what 50 $60 just to fill up your car. I can't even imagine if you have a big guzzle like a big old truck, how much it costs to put gas in to fill your truck up, and you're not getting that money back. So it's like, what do you do?
yeah, especially down here in Texas, where everyone loves their big trucks. Texas
Yes,
probably more than any other state.
I'm telling you, what are we, the truck state?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So we definitely okay. So before we get off into this other place, because today, y'all, the topic is about mental health. So we're gonna get off into that, but we're gonna start off talking about what's happening over in Iran. We know that the deal is not going through. There's people that are constantly losing their jobs over the weekend and probably within the past few hours that we've had folks basically losing their job, and then JD Vance just got pulled off a negotiation. So it's a lot of things that's going on. They say it's national security. I say they know that JD Vance will not be able to go pull through whatever, negotiate whatever it is that they want them to negotiate. Maybe JD Vance is failing because he wants to fail and he realized what's going on is wrong. We hope. We hope. But you know how that goes.
I don't know about that. I think it's just all chaos. This administration doesn't know how to really manage anything. The only thing they know how to do is just introduce chaos.
Yeah.
It's a common right wing tactic because the more chaos that you ensue, it becomes easier, particularly for those on the right, to be redirected, and to have their frustration and anger redirected to like a minority group of people or what have you. So there are those. I'm going to borrow the words of Dave Phelan to say that there are those who thrive in chaos, the
Yeah.
conspiracy theorists of the world. So chaos is a kind of a utility. And this whole Iran thing, I think, is probably just a distraction from the Epstein files. But
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist. Oh, I will say also this. This is something I learned in Toastmasters. I'm plagiarizing another Toastmaster here. When one of our Toastmasters said, "Hey, it's ear on, not I ran. It's ear on, not I ran." Uh, I thought that was a good a good thing to say. I actually did not know that myself until I heard someone say that. So yeah,
Okay. Well, that's one way of saying it. That's one way of saying it. I know we probably all messing it up. But my heart just goes out to those innocent people out there that are being put in bad situations where they're homeless in fear of their life. They have no idea, if there's another bee coming their way. They have no idea, that basically they live in over there in fear. because nobody knows what's going to wind up happening. And right now, it's in United States hands to decide whether they're going to push forward or not. And I don't see any peacetime coming anytime soon because somebody opened up a can of worms and you can't put them back in now, but they're all out.
Yeah,
And
and actually tell me, how is I know that your daughter serves in the forces, right? Is she doing okay?
well, we went to go see her this weekend, so right now she's okay. But I'm glad you brought that up because I'm finna go into the topic about depression. And let me just start with the military. So right now we have soldiers that are overseas, and some of them are sitting in the water waiting. The Navy. Check on if you have a soldier that's in the Navy. Check on them, especially if they're out. Check on them because we have money to go start wars, but we don't have money to go and take care of our soldiers. So our soldiers are sitting out there basically getting ready to starve because they don't have food there to keep up. So when they go out on missions and stuff, there's a lot of planning in place from the rooter to the tutor. They plan everything. Well, because everything was happening so fast, our soldiers do not have all the supplies that they need. So I'm really hoping that the Pentagon do the right thing by our soldiers and make sure that they have everything that they need because I already know that I don't even want to go into that, but I'm like the guy that they got in charge, he's not doing what he's supposed to do, and he's responsible for our soldiers, and he's not doing a good job. If anybody needs to lose their job right now, it should be him because he is reaping havoc on our military folks. And I'm like, this enough is enough. I know they're stressed. They're already worried about how they're going to take care of their home or whatever and what's going to happen. Are they going into war? Is somebody going to get crazy and blow up their ship? So I know they're up under a lot of pressure. And then on top of that, they don't have the basic supplies that they need to go out and do those missions. So y'all keep them in prayers. And if, like I said, if you have a soldier that's overseas right now, keep them in your prayers. Send them a gift package, and just check on them. A lot of things that we cannot control, but just to know that they got comfort at home, for someone to call them and just talk to them, that's just perfect. So switching gears. I really hate talking about this, but it's really important for us too. For the past week, we've been having a lot of murder suicide going on, to where we had the lieutenant governor of Virginia wind up taking the life of his wife and himself, and his child wind up seeing it or finding the body of his mother. And then just recently over the weekend, 8 children lost their lives, 3 others are badly injured. And the person that did it, he's no longer with us. He had a lot of mental issues going on. So, right now, that's kind of like what the topic is. So, we probably won't even be on a whole hour, but I definitely want to talk about mental illness and how it's affecting people, and definitely how it's affecting our children. We don't talk enough about that. The kids are seeing everything, they pick up on what the parents are going through. And I'm a parent, like I was telling Dell, telling you guys, I went and kind of like had a conversation with my daughter to make sure that her mental was okay. I check on my other kids and make sure their mental is okay, even though they're grown adults. I'm a very grown person, and a lot of things that are happening, I don't understand why it's happening. Well, I understand that we put somebody in place that is reaping havoc on everyone, but it's like it's more than just that that's taking place. It's like in the Christian world, there's a lot of demons walking around and they reaping havoc on everyone. And it's like we're basically fighting a spiritual battle. So not only are you fighting a spiritual battle, now we have to fight mental battle. And this is where Dell it comes into a place where we need more mental hospitals and more people that are dealing with helping. We need more therapists out there to help. But I'm gonna go back to my first question is how is this affecting our children? What's your thought?
Yeah, it's not just the mental health alone. I would say that, well, one thing rather that really hinders mental health, especially upon the youth, is the fact that I don't think youngsters these days really understand what normal is, or at least normal in the context to us millennials or Gen Z or boomers. Um, One of the young Democratic Caucus members were saying to me that the younger generation, this is all they know, right? And that's a pretty scary thing if you think about it, because with the chaos that we're seeing is not something I grew up with. I mean, we had Democrats and Republicans and lots of smack talk in the 1990s, but not to this extent. And so, when we live in a world where cruelty is being dished out from the highest form of governance and governmental leaders, I think that really hurts people's mental health. Um, when you grow up in a world where the racism and the bigotry is seemingly almost celebrated, or at least very much so tolerated.
Mhm.
And I can understand how that could lead to depression, especially if that's all you ever knew. So it's definitely a type of thing where mental health will still be an issue, even if we did live in a world that did not celebrate cruelty. But because we do live in a world where leaders are just so absolutely cruel, I think that really hurts people. Especially, if you grow up in that kind of environment, what kind of person will someone grow up to be when they kind of grow up in that type of environment? So I kind of think of, Donald Trump's father was not a kind man. Donald Trump's father was a very cruel man. And I think that's probably one of the many reasons why Donald Trump is a cruel man himself. And so I do worry about, the cruelty being almost a contagion. So, you know, trying to be kind and trying to be nice even to those who you do not agree with, I think is very important. I think we need more James Tallaricos in the world. I think I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. He's a very kind man, very patient man, and that's the kind of leadership that we need. Because I think if we have more James Tallaricos in the world, I think our children will be better off, mentally speaking. And not to say that you know that the cruelty in the common day is the only cause of mental issues, but it's definitely a major factor, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely is. And I hope that the teachers are really talking to the kids, but it's like right now, it's scary for them as well to even is it even okay for them to even talk to their kids in their classrooms about expressing if they're depressed or whatever is going on with them, I just feel like we as a society, and we definitely need to put our arms around our children and talk to them because we don't know how they're feeling about this. They hear it, they hear it all the time. They know that their friends may be going through some emotional things because due to maybe a parents getting ready to break up or they're hearing about their parents struggling financially, and this is one of those times. And I'm telling y'all now, I am not a therapist. I'm nowhere near a therapist, but I do talk to a lot of people and I understand. Sometimes We think that our kids don't understand, and they actually do understand if you actually listen to them. Pull your kid to the side right now and just talk to them about what's going on, because you can't hide from it. Back in the day when Dell and I was growing up, you basically could hide from things and not discuss certain things in front of kids. And now the kids got the internet, so you can't hide it from them. You got to tell them and talk to them. So it's best for us grown-ups to talk to our kids about what's going on and kind of break it down so they can feel not so scared, even though we may be afraid too about what's going on or highly concerned. But I think that you need to have a conversation with your children. You need to. You need to. But the tragedy that happened over this weekend, I'm still just lost of words. That the ages, I believe it was, hold on, let me check, from 3 months to 11 years old. So very young kids that were found. They had a future. They had a future, and it's sad. It's sad, but I'm gonna give y'all this number. If you feel like you're depressed, and this is a national number for you, dial 988. That's the national hotline. If you're feeling depressed or feeling like you want to do harm to yourself or you know someone, call 988 to get the help that you need. And then we also have 1-800 273 8255 if you need help. So I really want to take this time to just kind of like talk about this, because it's affecting everyone. If you think, if you don't even have kids, to hear what happened and those officials out there that had to go and pull bodies out of that home, the firemen that had to go in there, that's really, I worry about their mental. You know, we can pray and pray for them, but it's like they're going to need some therapy to go with that, because I can't even imagine what they seen there, you know. And the same thing like with that young man that found his mom and his father deceased, they're going to need therapy. So it's very important that we talk to our kids. And I want to say this, I want to say this. Women, ladies, when you know that you're getting ready to leave and you know that you're in a domestic violence relationship, don't tell him that you're leaving. Don't tell him that you're getting a divorce. Have a go bag somewhere where, with someone that you trust. Get your kids. Go. Have a processor to serve him or her. We're at this point where when you're telling your spouse, soon to be ex spouse, that, hey, I want a divorce, and you know that he or she may have been violent, don't tell them that you're leaving or you want a divorce, because of the simple fact is you might not be safe. There's over 60 million women that are married that are in danger right now. And I'm telling you, from watching so many women that I know, make sure you have a plan. You remember growing up and you heard your parents, especially our moms, just tell us whatever happens in this house, stay in this house. Y'all need to speak up. That is old. Right now we're losing so many women. It doesn't matter what color you are. Speak up. Let somebody know, hey, I'm in trouble. I need help. I need help finding a way how to get out. I'm worried. Y'all know most of the times when you're in an abusive relationship, he isolates you or she isolates you away from your friends, your family, make you so dependent on him or her to where you can't even move or do anything. But I'm telling you, please make sure that you have a plan in place and that somebody knows what's going on, and make sure that you protect your kids at all costs. If you're going to leave, leave. Don't tell them. Go. And I might be wrong for saying that, but I feel in my heart that y'all need to know this because it can happen to anyone, especially those of you that know you in a violent relationship. Don't aggravate him or her even more. Leave. Just leave. Yeah, and I know what you're going to say. It's not that easy. You're right, it's not that easy. And that's why they have so many different support groups out there. Call 988, get the help that you need. Tell a friend. Let them know somebody that you trust is going to give you great advice on how you can get out of that situation or maybe help you get shelter, because there's a lot of resources out there. We just don't utilize them. In a minute, the football season is going to be kicking in, and that's when a lot of times a lot of women are in more danger than ever. If you're pregnant, be careful.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll say this: I see a comment on Facebook. Trista Wilford is saying, "100% emoji. That's the most dangerous time for a woman to leave." Another thing too is I would say this is why we need to have red flag laws. Um, she also says it's not easy but possible. I did it almost 30 years ago. Um, but yeah, we really need to have red flag laws. I'm blanking on the statistic now, but women who tend to be murdered by their spouse or ex or significant other, there's almost always domestic abuse that happened beforehand. That's why
Mhm.
there was a lot of talk about trying to push for laws banning gun ownership to those who are domestic abusers, just because we know that seeing an event of domestic abuse is a huge red flag and a warning sign of yet worse things to come. And so
Right.
that's why I think it's really important to see those warning signs and take action. Um, I know it's not difficult. No breakups are, but if anyone was to hit you or hurt you, just go.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dale. And a lot of women and guys, I know it happens to you guys too, but right now, your female friend, your sister, sometimes even your mom, they're most likely going to wind up being a person that's going to wind up being a victim of domestic violence. What I want to say is if you see something, say something. A lot of times, people cover up, they got bruises on them and stuff, and they're like, oh, I'm okay, I'm okay. They're not okay. Check on your people. Check on your people. Check on your people. I can't even express that enough, because if he does it to you, he would do it to your kids. And there's so many proofs out there that it can happen. And another thing on talking about domestic violence, if you see somebody that's being cruel to a pet too that people don't talk about, you need to be kind of like keeping an eye out on that too. But Dale, what you were saying about the red flag law, we really do need that. This guy that did that to his kids, he wasn't supposed to have a gun, and he got a hold of one. He was not supposed to have a weapon because he had gotten in trouble about carrying a weapon. And he had one. He got access to one, or he never even turned in the ones that he had. We got to have stronger laws.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Another thing too, Trista's also saying in the chat, look at statistics of women in prison for domestic violence. So I was curious. I pumped that into Chat GPT and asked for men versus women. I'm surprised. This is a staggering number. Um, ChatGPT says if you mean people in prison for domestic family violence, the cleanest prison-based comparison I found from the U.S. Bureau of Justice Statistics data on state prisoners convicted of violent crimes against family members. And here's the numbers: 93.2% are men, and only 6.8% are women. That is a very staggering number. Uh, so yeah, I was surprised. I didn't realize it was quite that bad. Kind of gives men a bad raps, but yeah.
So my question is, Dale, you're male. How do you deal with the pressure of work, home, and just life in general?
Um, and family mainly. For me, it's my companionship and my family and my friends. So yeah, I mean, and I think I'm taking that question as a general question, but it's my family and my support group, my friends, and pacing myself. I try to keep to a routine. So I try not to kill myself or press myself too hard. It's really just more about staying on a routine. And that's just how I pace myself and give myself through life.
Yeah, I know in the black community, I know a lot of males, they will not go see therapy. And that's something that definitely needs to change because in the community, it's like you don't go to someone to talk about your problem. Just deal with it, man up, deal with it, suck it up. And then when you're dealing with the men that are ex-military, and now they push this age gap from 18 to 42, the ones that already done served, they've done their time. And I know it has to be in the back of their mind, like, oh my God, I'm finna get called up again to go fight. And they probably already suffering with PTSD. We need to fund our veteran association that way that they can help our soldiers deal with PTSD, deal with what's going on, because a lot of time they can't even talk about how they're really feeling about what's happening right now because they can't. And we have to speak up to for them, to be an advocate for them. But a lot of times I feel like when you go to certain counselors, they blow you off and they want to give you a pill. And a lot of times they don't need a pill. They just need somebody to talk to about how they're feeling. And I say, and I'm going to tell anybody, I don't care if you male or female or what, it's okay to talk about your feelings. It's okay to feel. Because if you don't feel, it gets stuck in you and then it grows. It's like cancer. And then one thing happens, another thing happens. Like you lose your job or you got pressure on your job. Your kids are asking, I need this, I need that. Your wife is saying, well, you're not paying attention to me enough. I need this, I need that. And it's everybody needs something. And then you just driving on Interstate 35 and somebody cuts you off. You are already hot dog mad. And then Tom, you walk in, somebody's yelling and screaming at you about what you haven't done. I'm a woman, but I get it. It's so easy for you to snap. Usually, when I get off of work, especially if I had a bad day, I'll sit in my car and I'll chill a minute before I walk into my home because I don't want whatever is happening outside of my house to go inside my house. And I also learned to read my husband too. If he's feeling okay, I'm okay. If he's feeling like a little bit like I don't want to talk to you today, I don't have time to be listening to you today, Stephanie. You talking too much. I know how to back off and let him be him. And sometimes we have to give them space and not throw everything at them. Uh, what do you have to say about that, Dale?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really important to go with what you said there, where it's okay to feel. It's important to feel. Um, I think there's a cultural thing the way a lot of men are raised in America. I know, like for example, this is going to sound a little bit cartoonish, and I'm just kind of giving like an example. Like when daddy's little girl skids her knee, daddy's gonna come to help out his little girl. But if his son scabs his knee and he starts crying, then the saying is always to say, "Be a man," "Be a man," type of thing. Or another phrase I would sometimes hear a lot of people say in American culture is, "Don't you cry, or I'll give you something to cry about." Which is actually kind of psychotic if you think about it. Because if you say, "Don't cry, or else I'll give you something to cry about," technically speaking, you're saying, "Don't you dare express your feelings, or else I will physically harm you." It's
Hmm.
kind of a crazy thing,
Yeah,
but those are very common phrases. I think that, I think that's probably why a lot of people, particularly men, sometimes kind of feel like they need to be more stoic, or some men feel like it's not manly to explore your feelings. But it's the type of thing where if you don't, you're going to go crazy. So
yeah.
that's for sure.
I definitely agree with you on that. Hey, you're a male, you know. And I have two sons, and that's one of the things that they're not weak men. They're very strong men, and they know who they are. And I always had a open dialogue with them to where they can tell me anything, even whether I want to hear it or not. You know, I always had an open channel with them that they can tell me what's going on in their life. Even now that they're super grown right now, and they tell me, hey, I had a rough day at work, or this is not going all right. Sometimes we have to be that person to listen to what they're saying. And you sometimes people don't need you to give them an answer. They just want to talk, get it off their chest so they can move forward, you know? And I agree with you, Dale. I've heard it from a lot of people. You better not cry. Why are you crying? You're just a sissy if you cry. And that doesn't make you weak if you cry. I think you're heroic if you're showing emotion instead of holding it inside. Because one thing about it, it's like you holding it and you holding it and you holding it, and you probably hate your parents for whatever they did, or somebody was more strong handed than the other one, and you hold it, and then you have kids. You might have a hard time or being bullied at school, and you holding it and you holding it. You get this job and your boss is being mean and telling you up in your face, telling you you're not good enough, and you feeling that you're not good enough, even though you are good enough, right? And then you have your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, and they constantly they need, they need, and they're not listening to you, and you can't really come to them and talk to them. Find someone that you can talk to. And I just had a conversation with somebody today and told them, get a journal. Whatever it is that you need to say, write it in your journal, burn it. Take a page, whatever you wrote, burn it. If you believe in God, great. That's a letter that you can write to God, and you can like put on there, hey, this is how I'm feeling, and burn it. Hey Trista. Come on in. Y'all, we stay in the house. We're
A
gonna
lot of
hold you.
my eyeballs.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. No, I wanted to join because you guys are talking about a great topic.
Well, thank you. We have 15 minutes left on here where we can really just go into it and talk. But I really wanted to talk to the men out there. And I know we're going to have to add some more men on here and really talk to them because the simple fact is sometimes we overlook our men because we expect them to be strong and deal with the pressure because I can't even imagine being a man and having the weight of the whole world on you and you still can't fix it.
That
And
happens a
people
lot
look
with
at
women, though, too.
you, oh yes it does. Oh yes it does.
Yeah, we have a
Especially
lot of, especially single women that are dealing with a lot of stuff. So, I mean, it goes both ways.
it does, especially our single moms who are raising more than one plus kids. You know, I've watched this young lady that's really good person and she's struggling and I see her struggling and there's really nothing that I can do to help her but give her advice, you know, hey, try this way, you know, because it's hard being a single mom and it's hard even believe it or not, it's hard being a single dad
It
as
is.
well too. You
Yeah, we have
know,
to give credit to dads. I mean, I was raised by a single dad. I did not
they
have, y'all have probably heard me talk about my mom was not stable, but I was raised by a sailor, hence my potty mouth. Sorry. I won't do it on here, but I was raised by a man and he did the best he could with three girls. So we got to give men credit where credit's due, but we also have to give credit to women because women, they step up most of the time because unfortunately a lot of men walk away and
they
we can't
do.
walk away.
We cannot, and you know, we're gonna definitely talk about that on Girls Talk. We bringing Girls Talk back. You know, we got to talk about these things, especially like Trish. I don't know if you are aware of what happened. The lieutenant governor last week had unalived his soon to be ex wife, and then he took his own life, and then over the week.
Oh, yes. I did hear about that.
Yeah, and then over the weekend we had in my hometown we had 8 children that were unalived by their father because the mom asked for a divorce.
Yep.
And matter of fact, they supposed to have been going to court yesterday, I believe. And now they're not here. And you know, she's fighting for her life. And I don't know who the other two people were that are fighting for their life, but you know, my heart goes out to that family because I just can't even imagine you fighting for your life and then you find out that you done lost all your kids,
Mm,
you know, because
can't even
you
imagine that.
tried to do the right thing and leave and he
Well, it's like I
snapped
posted when
or
I
had a
could not
mental
connect with
breakdown.
y'all is that being in that situation, I'm 30 years out of it. The most dangerous time for a woman to leave that relationship is when you leave. Because if you, like you were saying, Stephanie, don't say anything, find resources, find ways to get out. Because that is the most dangerous time for a woman is when she's actually leaving her abusive spouse. And it's not even a
Yeah.
spouse, it could be a boyfriend. I mean, I was in my relationship for 10 years and he had actually remarried and I still was dealing with it. And I'm not going to say I'm not still dealing with it. He still comes around, but it's a different situation because I have Rob. Thank God for Rob.
Yeah.
But
Well,
those men are that I don't want to say that they're crazy, but there's something not okay with that. And it's not okay that women are afraid of getting out of that situation because I am not. the typical woman that, and I hate to say that, there are women that are actually used to being ruled by men. I'm not that person. I'm a very strong woman, and I got in that relationship, didn't know what to do, couldn't get out of it. So nobody is immune to it or being in that situation. Anybody can get in that situation, and it's not fun. It's not. And don't be afraid. Like you were saying, don't be afraid to tell people. I had no issues telling people about it because you need that support. It doesn't matter. It could be a friend, it could be a neighbor. You need that support because when you are ready to get out, because you have to get to that point where you're ready, when you're ready to get out, you need those people to get you out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I had did. I had did a James Hope for Life was my foundation that I did, and I did a speaking out for her event that had I had some police officers there. They were talking to the women out there about what they can do, and I learned some stuff because just because you have a what is it, a peace, you need a peace order and a
Oh, those
protection order.
a TRO does nothing.
Exactly. But I think it kind of like helps you in a way to where you're protecting yourself if you want them happen to do something to protect yourself and your family. It kind of protects you a little bit. But when you're in this red state, I'm highly concerned. Oh, someone just said mental health is a crisis for men and women in 2026, and men and women are snapping. That's true.
That is
With
true. With all the costs that are going up, you were talking about sports. Right now, with all the prices going up, that's adding to that stress. You think about the
exactly.
children. Like with me running for JP, the kids are in the truancy situation. They're dealing, not all of them, but some of them are dealing with abusive relationships. So it is a much bigger instance. And Dale, just to go back to what I was saying, when I was saying look at domestic violence, I was talking about women that go to prison that are protecting themselves. They're usually protecting themselves not in the act of the violence, but they've gotten to the point that they can't handle it anymore, and they're in prison, and they're found guilty because it wasn't an act of violence. Does that make sense? It's like they weren't actually in the act of violence, but they had had enough and they finally snapped. So a
The
lot of
burning.
women, yes, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
If y'all
The
don't know what
more.
that is, The Burning Bed is a show about a lady that was in an abusive relationship, and she burned him up in the bed.
Oh, God, that was
Wow.
rough. But yeah, that was. But she was in an extremely abusive relationship. But that's kind of like what I was talking about. It's like she finally snapped. She did the most extreme thing. She went to prison for it. But it's like, how do we get these women out of it? And you're scared. I was. Like I said, I'm not a typical woman that would put up with that crap. And I was in that relationship, but I could not find a safe way to get out, which is crazy,
Yep.
especially in Texas because they back the men more than they do the women.
Exactly. Red states are so hard. They'll tell their some of them, not all, will tell them, "Oh, maybe you shouldn't have talked so much. Go back home."
My, yes, my
You
mother in law said if you would keep your mouth shut, maybe he wouldn't hit you. What?
Wow. That's
Yeah.
nuts. That's nuts. Yeah, and especially to the red state too. Like for example, Texas, who, who really loves their guns. They love their guns so much. And then, of
Mm.
course, even if you do get barred from owning a gun, I'm not quite sure if we do have any. I think Texas may have some laws that says that you can own a gun, but there's so many loopholes, right?
Oh,
Like for
so many.
example,
The
you can go
gun
to the
shows.
gun shows, for
Yes.
example. Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean,
And
it's
that's probably where he got his from.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah, we definitely need to increase the red flag laws and basically say, if there's domestic abuse going on, that person should not be able to own a gun,
I
and we
agree.
need to close the loopholes.
I do too.
Do you know what's so crazy when you look at Texas with the gun laws? So Greg Abbott has changed so many. I want to say it was last year that he took them all, like the concealed weapons. My girls both have concealed weapon license. They got trained. They wanted to get more training. You have to have a license to fish, but you
Yes.
don't have to have a license to carry a gun or a concealed weapon. I don't even get that. With all of the mass shootings we had, Uvalde should have been an example. Like, why are we not putting more restrictions? So, to you, Dale, on the red flag, I do not think domestic abuse is on that red flag. I really don't. And that's what I don't get. They think the Democrats don't want no guns. We don't want everybody. I'm not a gun person. I'm okay with guns. We just want common sense laws.
Yeah.
Have a license, have some training. What is wrong with that?
Well, I got a comment on here. Guidance mediation for you. Women and men do not leave abusive situations until they've reached their limit. Oftentimes, it's too late and one person dies, which is true.
That is true. Do you
It's
want to
true.
know what mine was? This is kind of embarrassing to say, but I'm fine with it. My ex-husband literally broke my daughter's finger. He twisted her finger and broke it, and that was my I'm done.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I think it's important to have these conversations because probably not everyone necessarily knows this, right? Or some people probably think to themselves, I think a lot of women particularly probably think to themselves, oh, I can fix him, type of thing, right?
Uh,
oh yeah.
But
Oh my God, Dale.
no, I was not that person, just so you know. I was not that person, but yeah, they do.
Oh, I got it. I'm gonna fix him. I'm gonna make him love me. I'm gonna make him do right. I can change him. Girlfriends, you cannot change the devil. The devil gonna be the devil no matter what, no matter how much holy oil or holy water you put on him, sprinkle on him, make him drink it. He is still the devil, no matter what. He might be a wet devil, but he's still a devil.
They are charmers,
Please,
though. They charm
very
the
good.
crap out of you. They charm the crap out of you, and then I don't know how I fell for it. I am, like I said, I am not the typical woman that would fall for it. I did fall for it.
You know, Trish, it can happen to anyone.
Hmm.
It literally can happen to anyone. He might be the perfect person, and right now I know that happened some years ago, but like right now, what's happening right now, the pressure is on. It's like one of those cooking pots when you know you cooking your rice and stuff, and the water starts steaming up. You know, at first it's okay, but then the water starts getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and then it just starts boiling to a point where if they're not getting counseling, that it's going to overflow, and then if they do go to counseling, they got to have a counselor or therapist that's really want to be there and want to really help them because they're not getting the tools to succeed outside of that relationship. They need help. And then if they're not going, it's okay, men and women too, but men, it's okay to get help. It's okay to say, I'm not okay. We don't expect you to be able to fix everything, but it's okay to get help. It's okay. I know the strongest man, and he gets help because he knew he wasn't okay. It's okay. That doesn't make you weak, it makes you strong. To where if you getting your mental well taken care of, you can help your family. But if you're not doing it and you're taking it and maybe talking crazy to your spouse or taking the anger out on something else or even your kids, that's not okay. Get help because one day it's going to take just one little thing and that's it. And you can't come back from that. You just can't.
No.
So I'm a big advocate about domestic abuse. I'm a big advocate about people getting mental health because sometimes it doesn't even have to be domestic abuse. It's people that's going through stuff and they don't know how to cope because you might be single and you dealing with you working two and three jobs and you working so much and you still don't know how you're gonna make it because you got your car insurance, you got your car note to do, you got mortgage or rent, or you sleeping in your vehicle, and it's a lot for you to carry, and there's no outlet. You don't see a way out. So, boom, there you go. So and then we have our strong people that's always saying, "I'm okay, I'm okay." They're not okay.
Mm.
They're just hiding it, and they
Yeah.
take on things.
Yeah, it's not even about, just snapping one day and doing an act of violence. I see, I'm probably guilty of this too. I know my wife does this a bit. Um, Something that will happen at work and will be like agitating, and then like later on, like I'll say something kind of like either like jokingly or probably like not so politically correct, and then she'll just snap, right? Or she'll like be angry at me, but she's not really angry at me. She's angry at the thing that mattered mad at work, but she's
Yeah.
trying to press it down because she feels like she needs to be professional. Um, it's very important to relieve your stresses, and talking to people is the best way to do that.
Yeah, it really is. Even if you have to go take a long walk or go find some type of go exercise. You know, I find myself doing things, not exercising. I probably need to deal with stress, but I find myself listening to music to kind of like calm me down and just be by myself. One place I love to do is just go by the lake and just chill. Just me in the air and just breathe a little bit because it's a lot that we're dealing with. We gotta do better.
I
I
like to
know.
garden. Garden is Gardening is really good. Where'd Stephanie go? There you are.
I had to plug my computer in because I see that my battery's like running low. But thank you, Trista, for coming on here, and thank you,
Of
Dell, for
course.
expressing. I
This was
know
a good
y'all. This
it was a good one. I didn't want to come on because obviously I'm not
hey,
my
you
best,
come.
but this is a good conversation. It was important to talk about.
Yes. So somebody said yes, water works. Yes, it does. I feel like I'm one of those ones that love to be with nature. So I like taking my shoes off. Call me weird, but I like taking my shoes off and planting my feet in the ground and that gives me back to that mother earth, get grounded. That's just me. That's what I love doing. you know Maybe take up golfing or go play some tennis. Just go do something and be by yourself for a minute to kind of like breathe and just think it through, before you do anything. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, or if you feel like you're depressed and you're going through things, please call a national hotline at 988. Real simple. 988. Get help because you're not alone. We're all going through it. We just dealing with it differently. You know, get help. Don't be by yourself on this. And like I said, get a journal, write down how you feeling and burn it.
Mm,
Tell everybody that burn it, write it down, burn it. That way can't nobody use it against you later on.
there you go.
Write your feelings down and burn it. That's between you and God or whoever you believe in. You know, that's one way of dealing with it. So I thank y'all for coming on here, and I thank everyone for supporting Let's Talk About It, Steph. And we're definitely going to be doing more talks about mental health because it's a big thing in the United States right now because we're all suffering with all the rising price of gas, water, basically everything. There's nothing that is not a rising price except for our paychecks. That's the only thing that's not rising is that. So y'all love on one another. Tell your kids, love on your kids and your grandkids, and let them know that you love them and you're there for them, because what's happening in our society is happening everywhere, and it's affecting a whole lot of people. Love on your family, tell them that you love them, and if you know somebody that's in trouble, please help them get out. So until next week, we'll see y'all next week, same time, same place. Please make sure that you like, share, subscribe so we can get the word out. A lot of times, y'all, it's not always about politics, even though we start off talking about politics, but we talk about real things that's going on in people's life, because you know what? We're here for you. So, Dell, I know you got something to say. Do you want to let Trista talk first?
Oh yeah, go ahead, take it away, Trista.
So, I literally just came on because I love the topic, but and I hate that I look the way I do, but I really wanted to get in here because it is an important topic. Domestic violence is huge. I've been a part of it. Unfortunately, I got out of it 30 years ago. Grateful for that. However, I am also running for just the peace precinct 3. I am excited about this. It has been an adventure, but I really think that I'm the right person to take over this position in November. I have I come with a lot of experience, and the people that have come before the court will be people that I not only relate to, but they're people that I've been in the same situation. But at the end of the day, the peace is the people, or the people's court, and the people's court are the people that I want to serve going forward. So I'm excited about that. Um, I was going to say something else, but I'm kind of lost my train of thought. But at the end of the day, I am running for just the peace precinct 3. Excited to be on here. This is a great topic. I love being on here because you guys have so many good topics that relate to so many different people, and it's more personal for me to be on these. But at the end of the day, I'm so grateful to be here. I just kind of popped in last minute. That's it. That's all I got. I was not ready for that.
You did wonderful, and thank you. Sometimes we just have to be real with the people, because folks are tired of the
The norm.
preppy. Yeah, the preppy people. They want you to have your hair pulled back, sometimes no makeup on. Yeah, I just got off work, so I'm looking kind of rough myself. But
Now
sometimes
this is
you
it.
just come as you are. We're going to church, man. It's like come as you are.
At the
So
end of
thank
the day, we're just people, right? We're just
right.
people. All of us. We're all running for office, and we just want to do better for our community. That's the bottom line.
Exactly, exactly. That's why we're gonna go ahead and give the floor to Mr. Dell so he can go do his stump speech, because I know he got something to say.
Probably way better than me.
Ah, all good, all good. Hi, so my name is Dale Frey, and I'm running for office for the position of the Denton County Clerk. The clerk is a multi-role. What's the court? I'm sorry, coughing at something. It's the clerk of the Denton County Commissioners Court, but also the clerk for the county. But one of the main things I really want to highlight here is that U.S. Senate right now may be passing something called the SAVE Act. And this
Mm.
disenfranchises young adults, because we all know that young adults typically get their driver's license at the age of 16. 2 years later, they think they can register to vote. But if the SAVE Act passes, then the driver's license will not be enough to register to vote. So they need to get a passport. In Denton County, different counties are different upon their configuration, but particularly in Denton County, it is the county clerk that oversees the passport filing fees. As your Denton County clerk, I'm going to make it my personal mission to socialize the cost for obtaining a passport. I believe this is necessary because I do believe in the Constitution. Unlike the Orange God King who's in charge right now, I believe the Constitution says that we're supposed to have free and fair elections. It's not supposed to cost you anything to register to vote. And so that will be something I advocate for. Another group I want to plug real quick is it's not tomorrow, it's Friday, day after tomorrow. There is the Frisco Democratic Club. We have our happy hour this coming Friday. We have candidates who come. I give them the microphone and they introduce themselves. We will be in the middle of early voting, so I do expect to see quite a few Frisco ISD school board candidates and likely one of our candidates who are running for mayor. So come out this Friday, 6:30 p.m. at Jake's Burgers and Beer in Frisco for the Frisco Democratic Club happy hour. You can find out more information about us at friscodemocrats.org. And as always, Stephanie, thank you for the time.
Can I ask Dell something? So
Go ahead.
I have my grandgirls this week. We're doing Color Palooza in Louisville. Is your happy hour open to young kids? Because I know it looks mostly adultish.
Oh, no, yeah, it's fine. And all ages are welcome. Yeah.
Well, and the reason I ask because I know you're doing the donation thing, and I have a bunch of stuff to give you. So I
Oh,
would love
awesome.
to be.
Awesome.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, yes. I'm sorry, I forgot to plug that as well. But the Frisco Democratic Club is, we try to do donation drives at least every other month. And right now, we are supporting Refresh Texas. Refresh Texas is particularly is looking for donations in order to help school students maintain their hygiene. So if there's any hygiene products or anything that the youngsters can need for their proper schooling and proper health, by all means, we're collecting products that we're going to pass along to Refresh Texas. You can find out more information at refreshtx.org, I believe.
Awesome.
Awesome. And you know what? I didn't get a chance to do my little thing. Hold on a minute, Dale. I
I
have to
love
cheer
when
the
you do
place up
that.
a little bit. So, y'all, thank you once again. And yes, I am still running for county commissioner in Denton, place 4. So, if you're in Denton County in precinct 4, please remember me come November 3rd. I need your support. I need your support, but it's not about me today. I just want to focus on our mental health. Please get help. Call somebody, call a friend. Don't do anything that you can't take back. Get the help. It's okay to say, I need help. Okay? 988, call them. All right, y'all. I'll see you all next Wednesday at 7 p.m. And who knows what we're going to be talking about, but we'll be back to talk to you about something. So, thank y'all once again for all of your support. And if you want to get on the show, please reach out to myself or even Dell and let us know so we can get you on the show. Thank y'all so very much, and we'll see you next week. Stay out of trouble.
Bye.